Alright, welcome back everyone. It's DanganRonpa, and we're gonna go in to the second trial. I hope it's who I think it is, and I hope I don't mess this up too much, and I hope that I didn't forget how to do this correctly. I guess I use my truth bullets to find whether or not certain statements are lies. And then I have to act upon that. So here we go. Let me just on chat. There we go. Okay. And they'll give me all the time to review all the notes and stuff that I have. So is everyone ready to what? Am I blind or are we missing someone?
Yo.
Yeah, Toko's not here. Huh? And Toko is... You really don't remember?
Come on!
Kidding, I'm just kidding. How could I forget that little nut job? She's a crucial part of the class trial this time.
What are you gonna do?
Okie dokie, I'll go ahead and drag her out here kicking and screaming. Just one moment, please. And just like he said, a few minutes later, he reappeared dragging Toko behind him. I told him I didn't want to, but he forced me. I can't believe you would drag a girl around. I'm going Super Saiyan 3!
Phew.
So now everyone's here, right? Okay, then hustle on to the elevator and let's get this show on the road. See you guys down there.
Let's go.
So, shall we get going? It's time to find out who killed Chihiro. Chihiro Fujisaki. You're so gentle, so calm and meek. No one had any problems with her. No one made the choice to kill a girl like that. Is she really a girl? Is she really a girl? And that murderer is one of us. Someone standing right here. Where are you? There you are. Hello, Mr. Suspicious. I gave you plenty to work with. Show us how far your logic can take you. It can't be Toko because the MO is wrong.
It's true.
Yes. I gave a small nod in reply. With one last deep breath, I walked toward the elevator on shaky legs. With each step forward, I could feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. And soon as everyone was on, the elevator began to descend. I couldn't get a handle on my emotions, couldn't stop speculating. The steel box sank with heavy clunking sounds deeper and deeper into the ground. And as we went deeper, the uneasiness in my heart grew bigger and bigger. The elevator was unaffected, however, and continued to descend without hesitation. Until finally, it came to a sudden stop. What do you think? I redecorated it. Isn't it so fresh, so exciting? Don't waste our time with stupid questions. Let's get this over with.
Very
Good, you're raring to go. I gotta say, don't hate it, not at all.
well.
Okay then, let's get this show on the road.
Thrills!
Everyone,
chills,
please find your assigned
thrills!
seats. And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, and deadly faith. Deadly class trial. Oh, oh, oh boy. Okay, I have 16 notes. The victim was Chihiro Fujisaki. The time of death is estimated to be around 2 a.m. The body was discovered in the girls' locker room on the second floor of the gym. The cause of death was a blow to the head with a blunt object. She was killed instantly. Although Chihiro wanted to get stronger, she declined several invitations from Sakura and Aoi, Hina, and may have used the locker room late at night to avoid them. Despite this, Chihiro had stated that she desired help with her efforts. She may have been meeting someone in the locker room the night she was murdered. Dumbbell found on the floor of the girl's locker room had a significant amount of blood on it. Chihiro had told anyone willing to listen that she wanted to get stronger. Some assumed that due to her inferiority complex about being weak, she admired strength more than anything else. To unlock a locker room, you need to swipe your e-handbook over the card reader. You need a male student handbook for the boys' locker room and a female student for the girls. It is not possible for two people to enter at the same time. Additionally, lending someone your handbook is a violation of school regulations unless they're dead. The handbook of each student that died is placed in a mailbox in the main hall. One of the handbooks found in the main hall has been broken, which is apparently a rare occurrence. Junko and Sayaka's handbooks both seem to still work, so it is assumed that the broken handbook is Leon's. However, Monokuma claims it's very unlikely that Leon's handbook would have been broken. Suspected genocide jacket victims include Ken, Tetsuhiro, Shoji, and among countless others. They were killed in the same way and mounted to a nearby wall. The word bloodlust was found at the scene of each crime, written in blood. Profiling indicates that the killer is likely a student suffering from a split personality. Chihiro seems to have consciously kept her distance from the other girls at the school, even from the beginning. Meanwhile, it had been noticed that she had gotten along remarkably well with her male classmates. Because I feel like she's maybe male? Or transgender? I'm not sure how that works. The carpet in the boys' locker room was found with a blackish stain on it. Blood was found on the poster in the girls' locker room. The poster featured a big-breasted supermodel popular among young boys. Meanwhile, the poster in the boys' locker room was for a boy band popular with teenage girls. Chihiro's handbook was not found on their corpse and has apparently gone missing. Chihiro's body had been suspended and her hands had been bound with some kind of rope, which is not rope. Her fatal injury was a blow to the head, which is not how the genocide jack works. Don't they get stabbed with scissors and then mounted with scissors? Strange. Sakura mentioned that she was responsible for a coffee stain on the girls' locker room floor. However, the stain had since been inexplicably scrubbed away. Wait. Yeah, then I was right. So Chihiro was killed inside the boys' locker room. And then they brought it to the girls' locker room? I don't know. I don't know. Hey, Goonie! And DanganRonpa, yeah! Indeed it is! Yakuya was known to use his lamp often. However, the extension cord had gone missing at some point and lamp's cord couldn't quite reach the outlet. On the night of the murder, right before nighttime, Chihiro was spotted leaving the warehouse. It seems she was stuffing some blue exercise clothes in a duffel bag. Presumably, she was on her way to exercise, but the clothes were not found at the crime scene. Celeste had not told anyone other than Makoto about this encounter. Why? And that's all I have. Time to set my skills. I got Robot Jack, Melodious Voice, increased bullet capacity affected during bullet time battle. Alright. And that's all I can do. Okay, I know the answer to this. I'll shut up before I spill it. Shh, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me, Goody. Don't do it. Let me figure it out. I feel like I know already, but...
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who does, then I'll punish everyone beside. Okay, let's talk about the murder weapon.
First, we have to make clear what was used to deliver the final blow. It's the fucking dumbbell. How is this an argument?
Chihiro's fatal injury.
Yeah,
It appears it was a head wound.
yes.
According to the Monokuma file,
The killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
That's not it? Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Fuck.
Chihiro's fatal injury.
Oh, shit.
It appears it was. According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
No!
Interesting.
What?
That certainly would make for a powerful weapon.
How?
Lord Chihiro.
I missed! The weapon had. Yeah, I know. Makoto, come on.
Chihiro's. It appears it was. According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt?
Instrument.
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Ha!
No, that's wrong.
Counter! Break!
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Yay! That's so creepy!
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
It's you! I fucking know it's you!
What? For real?
It's not Toko.
Hero's killer is
It's not Toko.
the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Okay. Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer. To kill cereal. Frosted Flakes, more doubt. Did he really kill Chihiro? A new element has been added to non-stop. What? For this debate, lines of white what? Will appear to disrupt your reactions. Your truth bullets will disappear if they hit these lines, but think of them as obstacles in your debate. But there's a way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press the right mouse button to attach the silencer. What? This is getting so confusing. However, if you shoot an actual remark with your silencer instead of the white noise, the time limit will decrease, so take careful aim if you have your silencer out. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all. In which case, you can forget about the silencer and just focus on the situation in front of you. Well, then good luck and fun. The narrator's as weird as Monokuma.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
Hey, so, speaking of Genocide Jack, I don't know who that is!
It shows that this was one of the works of Genocide Jack. Oh, there was actually a thing there?
Culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it.
No, you're not.
Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
No.
But that's impossible!
That's right.
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
Hey, so,
No!
speaking
I
of
missed!
Genocide Jack, I don't know who that is!
Fuck! Fuck you, white noise!
The culprit is
Genocide. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
You're wrong! God damn it, white noise. I gotta be there.
I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
Oh, if only.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic. And
Never made public?
Whoop, so
What the hell is it?
why don't you tell them, Makoto?
the other characteristic of every genocide case, genocide Jack case, which the world at large doesn't know. If I'm not mistaken, it has to do with the positioning of the body.
I got it! Apparently, in every genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No, it's a copycat.
No fucking way!
It's a
You're
copycat.
saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, but it's a copycat.
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
Hey, well, I just up and said it.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
You lie!
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle? Man, why's this gotta be so complicated?
You sure it's a copycat? Or maybe it isn't, you'll never know. I will know by the end of this! It's a riddle for sure, but I feel like I understand it. What it means for Genocide Jack to be Toko, but also not to be Toko. The answer is that she's not just one person, but multiple people, right? Oh god. What? What? What's the word? I don't know what the word is. Nope. What? Hold on. What could be the word? I don't know what the word is. Split personality, but then like what the? What's the word? I have no idea. Okay, that's a start. That's a miss? What the? What?
Now I understand.
Wait, what? Is that? That can't be it. What? What is
Is it
that?
because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Fuck that. What the fuck? What the fuck does schizo mean? Oh, schizo. Oh, I had no idea it was spelled like that. Oh, I was just pressing buttons.
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere in the file too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
That's how you say it.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split
Cootie, don't
personality.
give me that. Anyone would have trouble with that word. That word never comes up ever, unless it's for like CSI or like a TV show. The one thing that shows Toko could have a split.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
Whoa, is that a dead body? Are you dead? She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted. The world has a front and back, a top ending, and a bottom, and a tree of truth, and a web of lies. This is quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
I got the word when I first looked at it. Sure you did, Goody. Sure you did.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
I'm just stupid. That's my excuse.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
I won't let Genocide Jack have control! What is she, like Raiden? I'll drive out the killer, drive out the murderous fiend. She is like Raiden.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time.
Wow, the one person she trusted was the fucking douchebag rich boy. Wrong move.
And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story.
Damn.
I didn't ask you to.
Damn.
This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first.
What promise?
You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise...
Not her. I don't think it's her. I'm sorry I couldn't keep her promise. But don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
How many times do I have to tell you? I never said that, but you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it.
It's not her.
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
It's like with Sayaka and Makoto.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person? You don't mean...
Poor Hifumi's right next to her. Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second... Uh-oh.
Well, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
What? Her tongue! Her tongue's so long!
What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko. That's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
intense.
I kind of like her. I don't know what the hell. Okay.
Like they say, sound and murderous mind, sound and murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
I like her laugh. This is the murderous fiend genocide Jack. This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds!
Oh god.
Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
Fucking. Her laugh is getting to me really bad.
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death.
No, she's not.
There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
What motive?
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Me! I'm putting up my hand. It's me. I don't believe she's the one. I believe her.
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster.
No, I believe her. Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. What she said, I need to get some more details about all of this. I don't believe it. Still believe Byakuya is the one. Status of the dead body.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
No, it doesn't.
What more proof do we need? Give it up. You killed her.
No! Why did that miss? Why the hell did that miss?
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect...
Perhaps if you had an alibi.
Oh, an alibi, huh?
When you compare your past murders to this, the modus operandi matches completely.
Fuck you.
No, that's wrong.
I'm gonna use that feature now. Because I really the white noise gets in the way so
Are
bad.
the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How is it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you!
She's so intense.
I murder with passion and conviction.
No, scissors.
I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things.
Scissors and guys.
Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee.
Damn.
This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that. in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
There's one clear difference between the murders. In the photos from the other Genocide Jack cases, look at the neck and stomach. Here you'll see a clear difference.
I got it! For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right! In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce!
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
That's right, the second difference is related to how she was suspended. In the photos of the other Genocide Jack cases, all the other victims were stabbed through their hands. Here you'll see a clear difference.
I got it! Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement! Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else?
Uh-huh.
Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
I could go for a Big Mac.
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
They're all guys.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case.
Oh, guys!
There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Let's see. There was a pattern surrounding the Genocide Jack victims, and Chihiro didn't fit it. If you look at the names of every victim, you'll notice that they're all dudes.
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
So she was a girl and she's not a guy.
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
They're all guys. Ken, Tetsuhiro, Shoji, Kano, Takeshi, Komatsuna, Takefumi, Uchida, Takeshi, Yuto. There was no end to it.
They were all guys?
Yup.
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men!
That's kind of scary though.
I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
Fan madam. I've never heard of such a thing.
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Is there a fan gentleman?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly car!
Lowly?
Damn!
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, Whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors.
She didn't bring those with her, did she?
Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
Oh my god, she brought it with her.
Da-da-da-da!
Where did you get them?
She's fully equipped!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime!
Oh no.
Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you, gutter dogs, all of you! Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot.
No.
So rope's totally out of the question anyway!
What?
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Actually, hold on. There is one person who could have copied the genocide Jack cases. Jack! Where are you?
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened.
That's why the archive was locked before and he didn't want us to go in. Ah! It's a major flaw in your plan, wasn't it?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Oh boy.
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Once you went to the library.
The way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
The locker rooms. They're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. Wouldn't you agree? Suspicious? Seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
How did you know it was Chihiro?
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
How did he know?
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it?
How did you know?
Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
There's a clear contradiction in what Byakuya just said. I need to make it clear to everyone. The new element is... Okay, yeah, what is it? Next, we're going to add something called the truth flashback. If you aim at a weak spot and hold down the left mouse button, then you'll memorize that weak spot. The memorized phrase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your truth cylinder. However, you can use this flashback feature as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answer to a lie or contradiction in your loaded truth bullets, it may be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use that to make your case. When's the best time to flash back? Well, you'll just have to use your keen... What? No! In this case, though, I will say that you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. How do I flash back?
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room...
That's a natural reaction for...
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. so of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for
Pointless distraction. What's so strange?
You wish you'd taken me with you.
Wait, what? Hearing Byakuya's comment about Chihiro being a girl, I realized there's a clear contradiction there. But it doesn't make sense how he could have known before we'd even found out.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before, but he was acting... If you're presented with the opportunity,
That's unnatural.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl.
Shit, I have to hold on to it. Hold on. Sorry.
So, you said but he was acting... If you're presented with the opportunity...
That's unnatural.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl, so of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for
Pointless. What's so strange?
You wish you'd taken me with you. So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird.
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker
What?
room...
That's unnatural.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl, so of course I would suggest we
What?
check the girls' locker.
There was
What
no
am I
time.
supposed
What's
to
so
do?
strange?
You wish you'd taken me with you.
I'm just wasting
you said
time!
Byakuya was acting kind of weird before, but he was acting...
Oh,
if you're presented
okay,
with the
okay.
opportunity...
That's unnatural.
The victim was Chihiro, who was, so of course
I would suggest there was no time for. What's so strange?
You wish you'd taken me with you.
Because he knew that Chihiro was a victim all along.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we
What?
found the body.
What am I doing? What? How do I do this?
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird. If you're presented with the opportunity...
That's unnatural.
the victim was Chihiro.
Oh, okay. I just have to do the order correctly. Oh my god, this is getting really confusing.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
What's with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I've got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The differences between the case and other Genocide Jack murders. Evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible is hidden in there? What could it be? Oh boy. Oh.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Was it really a
Then
rope?
there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
No!
Objection! Yeah, you have.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
Yep. He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved?
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Wait, what?
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little
Wait, he's
more.
not the one?
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Is it not him? Wait, something's not right. Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean... Can I really just accept what Byakuya said as the truth? No, I don't think so. There's definitely something off about what he said.
I got it!
What?
You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right?
No, it's the boys' locker room.
But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, who's been so confident up until now, maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual crime scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey, don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Wait, what? He's not the one?
Come on, Makoto.
What is happening?
If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else. There's something that switched between the posters, right?
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
Yeah, why?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible.
Wait,
Don't you think?
Wait, I'm so fucking confused. So that I thought that was like an outlier.
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the bloodstained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place?
Didn't she want to work out with someone?
To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
Wait, what?
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
What? You mean borrowing the dead person's one? Oh my god.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I've got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
Oh.
No, I don't think that's it.
Oh, what?
She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Wait, you know about that?
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course. If she had
No!
that, she could get into the boys' locker room no problem.
God damn it!
Is it really? Could Chihiro really have gotten...
She must have hacked her e-hand. She was the ultimate. I'm sure that would have been no.
No, I don't. She used the thing. Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook.
No, that's wrong.
Glad I'm getting these right.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup! Hit the nail square on the noggin!
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook! The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring!
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
What? Is that it? Is that it? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room and Byakuya is the one who did it. Really? But still, I don't know what else I could do.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
Kyoko to the rescue.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say?
Same to you, Mondo.
There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
But she was a guy.
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
He's a guy.
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
She has a dick!
Wait! Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
Huh? For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
Oh my god, I was right this entire time and she's a guy? Holy shit! So before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead, and where she took us was... Yep, she's a guy. She's a guy, I'm calling it right now.
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
Want to check again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like using our hands?
I mean, how else?
No way, no way, no way, no way, no way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
I guess that makes sense.
Very well. I'll do it.
Oh no.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her.
But she's a guy.
So just leave this to me.
Sakura.
What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about?
That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
I really like Sakura. Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
Yep, it's a guy.
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. What?
You're joking, right?
No.
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then
Yup.
it's really true?
Yup.
Chihiro was a guy?
Yup.
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
Yup.
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, no, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting.
Wow.
Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting.
Wow. I actually didn't think it was true. I just thought that I just was guessing. Just random guessing.
Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
Wow.
Ahem. I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
To think that Chihiro was actually a guy, the thought had never crossed. What?
And because
Why?
the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
No, but none of the handbooks indicate that you're a guy or a girl. So Celeste could be a robot for all I know.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
No, it didn't. His handbook, bullshit. There's no way the handbook said he was a boy. If it says he's a boy right now, I'm gonna be really pissed. Fuck you, Monokuma. Chihiro Fujisaki. It doesn't say. None of it says none of them say that they're a girl or a boy. So Celeste Woudenberg could be a fucking robot. Because she's a robot. Yeah, they don't list the genders. Or sex. Or whatever you call them.